We're now on top of Lamed Hayamid Beis. Why do I need a special drasha of Chizkiah in the parsha of Kofer, where somebody shor was no geach? And we have a derivation. It says the famous Isha, and Hishvakos of Isha leIsh l'chol mitzvah Torah. Says the Gemara, I would have thought Ish the bar mitzvahs in. He's obligated all mitzvahs, and therefore, if the shor kills him, he's chayav Kofer, a terrible thing. You took a bar mitzvah and you killed him. But Isha lo, we found that Isha is not obligated in all mitzvahs like a man. Is therefore maybe if she was killed never by a shor, maybe there'd be no tashlumi kofer. And if the Torah would have taught me that men and women are equal with regard to tashlumi kofer, I would assume ibud neshama chas. Since there's loss of life, the Torah considers the loss of life for a woman equal to that of a man. But in the other two cases of onshim and dinim, maybe women are not obligated. Therefore, I need all three limudim. Now we go to the next part of the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that although women are included in Lo Taseh B'Torah, there are three exceptions. Chutz mibal takiv, ubal tashchis, and the third one is going to be bal tetame lemesim. So the first two apply to a Bas Yisrael, third only to a Bas Kohen, and the first two are bal takiv, which are the peos. 5 peos. Baltashis means to destroy the zakon. Bishlem about baltitami l'meisim. It's explicit in the pasuk. The siv in Parshas Va'emor. It says Emor l'kohanim b'nei Yisrael nefesh lo yitami b'yamov. It says in the pasuk b'nei Aaron, and therefore going to darsh b'nei Aaron v'lo b'nos Aaron. Elo, but in the case of baltakiv and baltashis. Mean Nola, and how do we know that women are exempt? And by the way, one of the answers, at least for Baltash, is going to be that Svara, a woman doesn't have a beard. And the Gemara answers, Mishum D'chsiv. It says in the parasha in Vayikra Yutes, Lo sakifu pias roshchem, v'lo tashchis es pas zikonecha. So we have a smichus between the Isser of Hakofas HaRosh, Pas HaRosh, and the Isser of Hashchasa HaZakan, to teach me that Kol Sheyeshna B'Hashchasa, Yeshna B'Hakofa. Only if you're included in Hashchasa, and you can't destroy your beard, then you're included in the Isser HaKofa. Hani Noshi Ovelo Isnu B'Hashchasa, Lesnu B'Hakofa. Women are excluded from the Isser of destroying the beard, and therefore they're excluded from Hakofas Pas HaRosh. Okay, fine, but we know the lowest is Bashchasa. What is your basis for the exemption of women from the lav of Hashchasa? And again, we're talking about the Hashchasa HaZakan of the person himself, not someone who's mashka someone else's zakan. Even I say one answer is Svara. The holo islahu zakan. A woman naturally does not have a zakan. She doesn't have a beard that grows. And here there's a comment from the Achronim. The Gemara in Chagiga says that avodim are included in the Isra Hashchasa, and yet avodim, by virtue of Lo Meisha, are exempt from all that a woman is exempt from. Just 1 second. So if women are exempt from Hashchasa, then an Eved should also be exempt from Hashchasa. And I think the answer is based on the Mishnah Milk, that Lola Me'isha is only as far as Man Grama is concerned, but that when there are Pturim and Isha that have nothing to do with Man Grama, we don't apply that to an Eved. So it's interesting, a woman is exempt from Talmud Torah. I'm not sure that an Eved is exempt from Talmud Torah. And a woman is exempt from Hashchasa Zakan, but an Eved is Chayv in Hashchasa Zakan. Because all these dinim and pturim have nothing to do with Zman Grama. The law, says the Mishnah Melch, is only with regard to Zman Grama. He has a different answer here in the Masechet, the name of the Chazon Ish. And he says, since the ptur of Hashchas in women is because they don't have a Zakan, that doesn't apply to Eved who has a Zakan. By saying makra, I can tell you we derive from a pasuk. The makra, the pasuk says osakifu pias roshchem, and roshchem is in the plural. Pavlos hashkichu as pas zikonecha, that's in the singular. Be the shani kra b'dibure. Why did the Torah switch from lashon rab to lashon yachid? And the Gemara says the imkain nichtov rachmana pas kancha. Because if we would have assumed that women are included in the Isra Ashchasa, then the Torah would have been consistent. And just like it says, Lo Sakif Pas Roshchem, it should have said, Lo Tashkichu Es Pas Ziknechem, or Zikanchem. My Zikanecha. So why did the Torah change the language from Rabin to Yochid? And from Roshchem, it says what? Zikanecha, to teach me that's Zikanecha v'lo Zikan Ishto. So I don't understand one thing here. According to this, then the Isra Kofas Pas Roshechem should apply to women as well. You have anything in your notes there, maybe? Oh, he says, Lule Hekesh Lamait Noshim Isra Kofa. Is called Noshim. So that's why we have the Hekesh between Hakofas Harosh and Hashchas Zakon. That just like women are excluded from Hashchas Zakon because it says Zikonecha, so too they're excluded from Pa'as Harosh. So why does it say Roshchem in plural? Just to throw us off on a confusing way. Prektimar V'lo. Are you telling me that really there's no Isra Hashchas Zakon by a woman? V'asani, we learned in the Brisa, Zekan Isha Vasaris Shehelu Seyar is Harei Hein Kis Zakon L'chol Divreim. My love, Lisa Hashchas. So the Brisa says that if a woman grows a beard, and a saris who usually doesn't grow a beard grows a beard, then the sa'ar of their beard is considered Zakon. And therefore it's included in the Isur of Hashchasa. I mean, again, otherwise, why does it say Harei Hein Kizakan? Amar Abaye Lashchasa Lo Motzis Amrit. It's impossible to interpret that the Brisa is telling you that women are included in the Isur Hashchasa as men are. To Yoliv, because we have Xera Shava Pa'as. It says Lo Sashchis Es Pas Kanecha, and it says in Kohanim Upe'as Zkanam Lo Yigalechu. And we're going to derive, because it says in the parasha there, B'nei Aaron, that Malahalan in Pas Zkanam Lo Yigalechu, which is a law that addresses Kohanim. It says Noshim Pturos, because it says Emor L'Kohen B'nei Aaron V'lo B'nos Aaron, is Afkan in the east of Los Ashkes Pas Konecha Noshim Pturos. So there's no Havamina to say that women are included in the Isra Hashchasa. According to Abaye, it's not even a Havamina. We had a Brisa that Helu Seir Harei Kezakon. So that we're going to have to figure out. Zok the Gemara, I have a kasha on Abaye v'is v'relon. If you're going to accept Abaye's premise, that the chi kosav, when the Torah says B'nei Aaron, and excludes Noshim from Tumas Mes, Akula and Yonaksiv, that mute applies to everything that's in the parsha, not just Tumas Mes. If that be the case, then nishto kra mine. What do I need the Xera Shav Pa'as? V'teise v'kavachomer. We're going to derive it with the kavachomer from Kohenes. That the Ptur of Bnos Yisrael is derived from Kohenes. By no Amina, we would say, what's the kavachomer? Ma Kohenet. Shari babahem akos mitzvah Yisrael Torah is very machmir on Kohen. because there's special Kiddushin that generates a lot of Isurim that don't apply to Bnei Yisrael. And nevertheless, it says Bnei Aaron. As far as Hashchas Zakan, only Bnei Aaron are included in these. V'lo Bnos Aaron. Is Yisrael lo kol shkein? The Gemara is assuming an equation between the Isurim of a Kohen in the case of Hashchas Zakan and the Isurim of Bnos Yisrael. And just like women are exempt from the Isur Lav Hashchas Zakan in the case of Bnos Aaron, so too, how much more so in the case of Bnos Yisrael. So how could you, Abaye, say that certainly women are, just 1 second, that women are exempt from Pa'as, Hashchas, of course, of Gzeir Shav? Yeah, I think the Gemara is asking the fine question: why does, according to Abaye, why do we need Gzeir Shava? Why does Abaye need Gzeir Shava to pater women from Hashchasa? Why not simply derive with a Kavach Chomer from Bnos Aaron? So my answer is no. I need the Gzeir Shava. Why? Ilav Gzeir Shava. If not for the Gzeir Shava, that equates Bnos Yisrael with Kohanos as far as Hashchas Zakan is concerned, which is called Akul in Yoniksiv. Hava, I mean, I would have thought Hifsik Ha'inyan, that there's something that wedges in between the mir of Bnos Aaron and Pas Zakana, Hashchas Zakan, because in the middle it says Lo Yitama. And that tells you which tumas the Kohen is mitame to. And that mitzvah of lo yitama is no heges even with regard to noshin. So therefore the Gzeir Shava comes and must come to teach me that Bnos Aaron are excluded from the Isur of Baltashkas. And also we equate Yisraelios to Bnos Aaron. Mar rejects it. Hashta Nami. Now, too, even after you have the Gzeir Shava, Nema Hifsika Inyan, the Torah is applying the principle of Hifsika Inyan, and Bnos Aaron are included in the Azhara Baltashkas. And that means that Hifsika Inyan means tumas mess, but nothing more. And therefore women are included in the Azhara of Baltashkas. The Mishum Gzeir Shava, and you'll ask me, so why do I need a Gzeir Shava? Mi boy sanya. And this is the din of Giluach Zaken, which is derived from Gzeir Shava. It says with regard to Kohanim, Pas Kohanim lo yigalechu yachal, I might think Gilcho b'misparayim. It doesn't matter whether you use a razor or scissors. Talmud Lomar lo sashchus. And the language of Hashchasa implies that he doesn't leave anything, no roots of the hair. And that's not something that you could remove with misparayim. And the Brisa continues and says that if the Isur is only for lo sashchus, yachal, I might think, likto b'mak, b'malket, uberehitni. So these are various kinds of kalim that are used, different utensils that are used to smoothen out the hair. And usually they're used on wood because you want the beams of the wood to be absolutely smooth. And since these two kalim, I guess they used to plain wood, I don't have the exact translation to English, but there are different types of planers, makla, malkate, and rehitni, is you're not chayav if you use those same kalim that are designated for wood to remove hairs from the cheeks of the face. And that's derived, Talmud Lomar, Pasakanim lo yigalechu. So therefore, the Torah is saying that the Isra Hashchas is like a Megaleach. Okay, so how do you have both Hashchas and Giluach? Giluach sheyesh ba'achas avi omer zeh ta'ar. A razor fits this description of Giluach sheyesh ba'ashchasa. On the one hand, it's a Maisa Giluach, not like Rehitni and Malkate. On the other hand, it really does Hashchasa. It goes down to the, it's not like Misparayim, it goes down to the roots. I don't know, I call it a follicle. I hope I got that right. So again, at this point, we still don't understand the hechrei to say that the Gzeir Shav is teaching me that Benos Aaron are not included in the Isra Hashchasa. So the answer is in Cain, if your logic is correct, that it's coming only to tell you what exactly constitutes and qualifies Giluach Asur, is Nichta Rachmana Torshus Elotashis Es Shebiz Konecha. Shouldn't have said Pa'as Zikonecha, but rather Shebiz Konecha. Because once it adds the word Pa'as at the beginning of the Pasuk Lo Sakifu Pa'as or Shechem, if he would have finished he would have ended the pasuk with Lo Sashchis Es Shebiz Konecha, then it would be clear that he's referring to the Pa'as Hazakan. So it's as if the word Pa'as was written explicitly. And then we would have had a Hekesh of Pa'as to teach you that Derech Giluach is Asur, and we don't need Pa'as explicitly. And therefore, it would have been enough to say Sheb Biz Konecha, my Pa'as Konecha, Shma Mino, it wants to teach me both, that the Isra is only through Giluach Derech Hashchasa, and it only applies to Bnei Aaron and not to Bnos Aaron. So Gemara asks Viela, but we prove that women are not included in the Isra Lav of Hashchasa Zakan, Hadetanya, Zakana Isha Vasora Shehelu Seyar, Hain Arei Hain Kizakan, Lechol Devreya. So Lamai Hilchasa. I mean, once you're proving that women are not included in the Azhar of Baltashlis, the Kanecha, so what does it mean that if she had a beard, she would be prohibited? So the Gemara says, Lamai Hilchas, Lamai Hilchas, so what was written for? It has nothing to do with Baltashlis. The Torah is telling me that a Zakan, as far as the laws of Nigei Zakan apply even to a Zakan of a woman. The Gemara raised the following objection. Tumas the Gon Behejik Siva. Ish, O Isha, Kiyebo, Noga, Berosh, O Bezakan. You can't tell me that the Bryce is teaching me something that's explicit in the Torah, that a woman's Zakan is considered a Zakan as far as Tumas Negoim is concerned. The Bryce is equating a Zakan Ish to a Zakan Isha for the purpose of teaching me Taras Negoim. That if you have a nega of a zakan in the zakan and you undergo a process of taras negoim, then all the dinim of taras mitzora apply to taras negoim. And Gemara rejects this. Taras negoim nami pshita. I don't need to derive any conclusions here about taras negoim. It's explicit in the Torah. Came in the bas tumi, bas tare. Anything that is subject to generating a tumas nega is included in taras nega, taras tumas negoim. So the Gemara now goes back to the scoreboard, and we want to understand what the Bryce is teaching us by equating isha leish as far as tumas nigei zaka. It's I need it. I can't rely on anything that's not explicit. Why? Kasalka, that I would have said let's studim ksiv. That when it says ish o ish at the beginning of the Isur, at the beginning of the pasuk, it's litstadim. It's not equal to both men and women, but we're going to divide up the pasuk into two parts. Ish o isha ki bo nega berosh. In a nega that is shava both the isha, and then when it says o bizakan hadar asan li ish, I would have said that it goes back to explain the dinim of nega bizkan ha'ish. Mashmallah, that's what the Bryce wants to teach us, that shava isha le'ish bizikne b'nigei zakan, as far as the Goyim are concerned. Isi Tani, Isa had a Bryce that says af bal yikrechu, even in the lav of karcha, which means if you make bald spots on your head after somebody dies as part of your expression of grief, nashim pturos. My time at the isi. Why should women be exempt from the Isur Bal Karcha? Isur Karchas Harosh. And the answer is the Dorish Halchi Bonim Atem LaShem Elokeichem Lo Tiskodedu V'Lo Tosimu Karcha Beineinechem Lemes Ki Am Kadosh Atol Hashem Elokeichem. So we have here in the same pasuk in Dvarim Perik Yudal Parshas Re'eh, it says Bonim Atem LaShem Elokeichem Lo Tiskodedu. Lo Tiskodedu means when for grief you take a knife and you cut into your body, and then it says in the rest of the pasuk Lo Tosimu Karcha that you can't make holes in your head as part of your expression of mourning. But the pasuk says Bonim Atem, Bonim v'lo bonos l'karcha, that the word Bonim excludes women as far as the Isur Karcha is concerned, because of the equation to Lo Tiskodedu. Mar explains, Ata Omer, you actually derive from Bonim a miut to exclude Lekarcha, O Eino Ela Legedida. Maybe it means that women are excluded from the lav of Gedida when you cut into your body. But they are included in the Isur Karcha, and the Bryce rejects this. Shu Omer, it's in the next pasuk it says Ki Am Kadosh Atol Hashem Elokecha Harei Gedida Amud, and that pasuk is referring to Gedida. Hamani Makayim Bonim V'lo Bonos. So what do we do with the mir of Bonim V'lo Bonos? It must be for Karcha. So it means there's a ribui to include women in the Isur Gedida, and a mir of Bonim V'lo Bonos to exclude women from the Isur Karcha. Frekting more my rois. How do you know to go that way? Why you marbe from Am Kadosh Gedida that women are included in the Isur Gedida? Ulahotzi, but when it comes to Bonim V'lo Bonos, you're going to exclude women from the Isur Karcha. And the Gemara answers, I shouldn't say Gemara, it's really the Bryce answers, Marba Aniyas HaGedida, Sheyeshno B'Makom HaSeir V'Shelo B'Makom HaSeder. Right? The Isur Gedida applies anywhere in the body. But Motzi Aniyas HaKarcha She'ena El B'Makom Seir. Okay, so fine. It's only B'Makom Seir. So therefore what? That's a kula. By limiting the application of the lav of karcha, it's a kula in the lav of karcha vis-a-vis the lav of gedida. And since the Torah is mekil, therefore we want to assume that women are excluded. Frek the Gemara v'yema bonim v'lo bonos, bein lekarcha, bein legedida. Maybe this exclusion from the mir of bonim v'lo bonos applies even to gedida. The chikasav, what are you going to do with the ribui of Kiam Kadosh Atol Hashem Elokecha B'Srita Udechsiv? And that's in Vayikra Chaf Aleph. It says Ubibsaram Lo Yisritu Sarotas. So now we have to know what's the difference in Gedida and Srita. They seem to be identical. And the Gemara answers Kasavar Isi. Isi holds like we held, that Srita Ugedida, Tapalamid Vav, is Achasi. So the only difference between Srita and Gedida is that Srita is Biyad Ubekli, and Gedida is only Bekli. So we're up to Abayi Omar Hainu Time of the Isi. So B'li Neder will have to review the last piece of Isi, and we'll then go on to Daf Lamed Vav. And I know, Rabbi, you told me that you did this already, but